Moving on, All In Capital, a pre-seed venture capital firm founded by former Upgrad executive Kushal Bhagia, has announced the first close of its second venture capital fund with a target corpus of 200 crore rupees. The fund also includes a green shoe option of another 100 crore rupees, bringing its total capacity to 300 crore rupees. Joining me now to discuss the firm's growth plan is Kushal Bhagia, the founding partner of All In Capital. Kushal, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street. You know, you've made this first close, like I said, of your second fund. By when do you hope to close this round, and what's the kind of interest you're seeing from investors for Indian startups?
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to do this. We expect to close the entire fund by end of this calendar year, and I think there's massive interest. People have seen companies that were started, 5, 10, 15 years ago that have gone public in the last couple of years, and family offices, fund of funds, HNIs, they all kind of realize that, if you want to get exposure to the future of what's going to come on the stock market, let's say, 5 or 10 years from now, those are investments that are happening in the private investment space. So as of now, there's massive interest in early stage AIFs that are doing startup investing.
Right, absolutely. So big interest there in early stage. I'm going to come to that in a little bit, but you're looking to invest in 50 companies over the course of the next 3 years, right? So you've already started deploying these funds. Take us through the firms you've already bet on and the ones you're in talks with. What's the investment strategy here?
Sure. So we typically see 400 companies every month, and we end up investing in one, sometimes two. And from this new vehicle, we've already invested in 8 companies. This is a mix of AI, consumer brands for India, consumer apps for India, and there's even a gaming studio we have back. We are quite wide and sector agnostic, but we have these frameworks that we use to identify founders in every domain that we go into. There are certain traits that we like, the founder market fit that we look for in each of these companies. From our last fund, we had done companies like Numi, which is a fast fashion platform, which is growing rapidly, opened up 10 stores. Their online app is one of the top shopping destinations in India. We had done a space tech company called Side Space, which is building satellites to track ships in real time. We had done Magma, which is a B2B marketplace for the ceramics industry. So we are quite wide. We have a wide network of sector experts who help us evaluate and understand domains, and that's kind of how we double click with them and go deeper before we invest. From this new fund, again, like I said, we've done 8 deals. Yeah, go on.
So you've done 8 deals in these funds. Which are the companies that you've invested in?
Yeah, so we've backed a energy bar for mass market India called Takat. We've backed an AI company called Mixar, which is building tooling for the 3D animation industry and making it 10x more efficient with AI. We've backed a co-pilot for doctors in India called MedMitra. We've backed Crore, which is a shapewear and innerwear brand for women in India. We've backed a company called Plaza, which is doing quick commerce for medicines. And we backed NPrep, which is a edtech platform for nurses in India. So those are some of the companies we've done.
Right, and you said you say that you're sector agnostic, but you focus largely on consumer tech, deep tech, fintech, and consumer brands, right? Even from the names that you've mentioned, that's what you're sort of focusing on.
Yes.
Why is it that you're betting big on these companies? What's the rationale here, and why do you find them so exciting?
So we really look for a why now, and when we go into a company, we look for what's changed in the world which makes this a great idea today. That could be a technological why now, that maybe AI lets you do things which you couldn't do earlier, or it could be a regulatory why now, or it could be a consumer behavior related why now, where consumers expect a new kind of service or product which they were not getting earlier. So we are quite that's kind of where we start. But in these particular spaces, I think AI for sure is a space where there's a big why now. Like there's this new technology on the block which is letting you do stuff which was just not possible till even 2-3 years back. It's reducing time that we used to, like a human would take to do certain tasks maybe in 3 hours, 4 hours. AI would do it in like minutes. So if you can design experiences for users where their day-to-day tasks can be cut short by that amount, a human can now do a lot more. So that is something we're very excited about. Then in terms of brands, I think there's a wide behavior in India now where young Indians don't want to use their dad's brands, so they buy brands which appeal to them and that are built for them. Their tastes are different. Like we've seen that with Numi, their audience is primarily Gen Z, and the way it's been built out, it's very different from the last generation of brands. So I think consumer in India is on a huge secular uptrend. Consumption is increasing. People are catching on to global trends much faster because of Instagram. They are more discerning in what they are buying. Quick commerce is also fueling this. Whatever they are buying is also accessible to them at very, very easily and in a very impulse-driven manner. So that gives a huge platform for someone to launch a new brand because you have discovery on Instagram and then you have fulfillment via quick commerce. So that's a deadly combination. And
Right.
yeah, that's the theme we are very, very bullish on.
Yeah, so very bullish on the consumer theme. All right, Kushal, we're completely out of time. But thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we wish you all the best on this journey going forward.
Thank you so much.